Today, as promised, I said I'd show you how I cut soap. I'm stooping down here just so the camera can see me. I've got it at a bit of an angle, hopefully you can see. So basically this is my soap cutter, and today I'm going to show you how I cut my soaps. Here's my moulds. They're timber moulds lined with like baking paper. So basically I need to get this out of the mould. And you can see I'm wearing glasses, gloves and a dust coat, and that's purely for my own protection. When the soap is like this, it's actually caustic, which is why it cures for 6 weeks. By the time it's finished in the 6-week curing process, it's obviously soap and it's no longer caustic. Alright, so I've just taken that out of the mould. That's what the mould looks like. This is lavender mint, just so happens to be what I was wrapping the other day, and this is what's coming out of the mould. So basically I'm just going to take the paper off. It comes off very easily. This actually has been sitting in the mould for about 48 hours. Depending on the weather will determine how long it needs to stay in the mould for. Have a look and make sure I'm happy with everything. Make sure there's no major air bubbles. I basically run my hands all around the top and just get rid of any little flaky bits of soap. It's just presentation. It's all good soap, obviously, but we don't need that on there. So I just tidy that up just a little bit. Now the soap, even though it's solid, it's actually still quite soft. I don't know if you can see, but it actually is flexing a little bit. So if you end up ordering any of my soaps, you may get an offcut. So I'm just going to move this along, square it up, make sure I'm happy. And this is actually a really fun process to do. Just clean that up. Sorry, I already did some before I started video. Okay, so I'm just going to lower this down. Now this cuts roughly 10 bars at a time. And you can hear that little pinging noise. That's me just making sure the strings are all the way through the bar of soap. So this cuts the bars into nice little even pieces. So you can see this is a lavender mint. It looks very different from what I was wrapping the other day, and it's purely because of how I laid it into the mould and then how I stirred it through to give all those patterns. So I'll just move that down. So from one mould I get roughly 26 bars of soap, and I tend to do 4 moulds of the same type in one hit. So that's what I call a batch, is actually 104 bars. So you can see the bars are quite a lot shorter now. It's looking lovely. I've still got the end here that I haven't cut. This is my cutting edge. You can hear that pinging again. That's just me moving the wires through. Here's a little offcut. So those 2 little offcuts will usually be packaged together. So this is what I was talking about with the trays and stacking and racking. Hoping you can see that. I don't normally move the racks, the trays around that much. They normally go straight on the shelf. And over that 6-week period, I don't just leave them on the shelf and forget about them. I actually inspect the soap. The soap gets inspected at this point. It gets inspected throughout the 6 weeks. I actually rotate the bars so they dry evenly. And each time, obviously, I'm checking them. When I wrap them, I'm also inspecting. Sometimes you get the odd air bubble stuck inside. Usually, if I see that, I don't pop that in my soaps for sale. That becomes a second. If it's really tiny, it's not a big issue, and it doesn't affect the performance of the soap. It's purely an aesthetic thing. So people don't like to see that, which is fair enough. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye now.